All right, hello everyone. You're listening to U4ric's Paradise, episode 2, only on Vaquero Radio. I am your host, U4ric, and yeah, let's just get started. I just want to say, start off by saying, I hope you guys are having a very good day today. I was having a pretty stressful one today. I woke up like wondering, like, oh boy, I'm afraid to go to my public speaking class because we're gonna have to do another brief speech. Not to toot my own horn, but I did really good on it. And then I entered my second class of the day, which is like an English class, and I also had to present in there too. And like I said, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I did really good on it as well. So yeah, I'm relieved from all the stress right now, and now I'm in a place where I could finally listen to the music I love and share it with you guys. So I'm a bit more eased, I'm a bit more calm. So yeah, let's get the show on the road. And today I have a specific theme for this show. I wanted to talk about the pandemic and like how it has affected my music taste and all that stuff. And I just want to start off by saying that like a couple of days ago, I was feeling extremely nostalgic. I am a person that relies on nostalgia a lot for like things that made me happy from back then, or like, just things in general with nostalgic rise, right? And a couple of days ago, I was just listening to certain songs from like I heard like back around 2020 that I was like finding out and all that stuff. And although 2020 was kind of a bit of a difficult year, my junior year got cut short and everything like that, and we had to resume to online class and all that stuff. It was a bit of a struggle, especially being away from my friends and that. But at the same time, it's also like, despite how hard that era of our life was, for some reason for me, I also found it like as a turning point in my life where I really discovered who I was and like the things I was into and what I'm passionate about. And there was these two songs in particular that I was listening nonstop during 2020. And yeah, so although we may know Clairo, she's not a COVID artist to me. I've been listening to her since like 2018 for a while now. Really love her stuff. But she made a collaboration with Mura Masa on this song called I Don't Think I Can Do This Again. It is a fun, jam. It's boppy and it's just a fun dance jam. But the second song that I'm going to be playing after that one is You Lost Me There by George Clanton. These two songs defined my 2020. But You Lost Me There is probably one of my favorite songs of all time. And I am very excited next week to see, or next month, because I'm going to be going seeing George Clanton, and it's going to be a very special moment because, that is my COVID artist. That's what I got through during the pandemic. And to finally hear, I think he's going to be playing this song. Hopefully he plays this song for an encore or something like that. But yeah, I'm very excited to see George next month, and I really love this song. It is, one of my favorite songs of all time. But yeah, let's start off today with I Don't Think I Could Do This to the End, and we're going to be transitioning into You Lost Me There by George Clanton. So yeah, let's start up. All right, that was You Lost Me There by George Clanton, and I Don't Think I Can Do This Again by Muramasa and Clairo. All right, now switching gears, since I was talking about the pandemic in the first section of this episode, I wanted to move to the next year, which is, of course, 2021. And I remember that the New Year's I had leading up to 2021, and it was a really fun day. I was with my family in Houston. And I remember as soon as I got back home to, Brownsville, I just remember, like feeling like this is going to be, like, the year for me because that year I was graduating from high school. I was a senior, and although it was still online and I still wasn't seeing my friends as much as I should have, that was around the time COVID restrictions were starting to go up and everything. And I remember after I believe it was around March. That's when I started really seeing like my friends again, and prom was coming up. We were able to have one. We were able to have a graduation and everything, and not only that, but I got to see my friends again and all that stuff. But the biggest thing that really made my year as well was how much good music came out in 2021. I can't even begin to describe the amount of my favorite artists dropped albums in that year, or songs in particular. We got like my favorite artist, Porter Robinson, dropping Nerd Shirt, which I also got to see him on tour, but this is going to be mentioned in a little bit. Tyler, the Creator, dropped Call Me If You Get Lost, a really good album. JPEG Mafia dropped LP. It was just an amazing year. Kanye West dropped Donda, that too. And although I don't really listen to Donda as much, it was just a great year for music. And I remember that all of that just pounding up on top of everything. I remember just thinking like, man, this is really my year. It's really going my way, and everything that I want in a music year is happening because COVID restrictions and all that stuff, people are like, oh, since they're being lifted, let's drop our best music right now. So I chose these two songs in particular because these are the ones that genuinely caught my eye at the most. The first song that's gonna be played is "The Princess and the Clock" by Cara Cara Bonito. I really love Cara Cara Bonito ever since Time and Place. That album is amazing. But they dropped this little Civilization EP. It's a small EP, and this song is called "The Princess and the Clock." It's very it's synth pop. It's very fun. Sarah Bonito's vocals are very cutesy and they're loving to hear. And the next song we'll be playing is someone who got to see on the support list supporters nurture tour, James Ivy. I'm gonna be playing this song called "Pushing Through It." It is a very catchy song. Anytime I play it, I scream the lyrics out loud. I'm being honest with you. And although I'm not playing the song, James Ivy dedicated to me at that show, which is called Last Start, which I recommend. Maybe I'll play it someday. Who knows? But yeah, that was a very fun night, and that really opened up my eyes to James Ivy as an artist. And I really hope that with how small he is, he begins to progress as this mainstream indie rock artist. But yeah, let's get started. This is The Princess and the Clock by Cara Cara Bonito and Pushing Through It by James Ivy. All right, that was I already forgot the name of the song. Princess and the Clock by Cara Cara Bonito and Pushing Through It by James Ivy. But yeah, whenever I listen to those two songs, I just think how fondly 2021 was as a year, and it's weird to think how like that was 2 years ago, and I feel like my life changed a lot in that year, and it was a lot of good, and not many bad things happened that year, and I was very very pleased with that. And I don't think that there was ever going to be a year where I experienced that sort of like happiness again. And granted, I'm happy right now, but like that year was just pure joy all around. I met my girlfriend that year and everything, so yeah, that's really the gist of that year. It was just a great year overall. I look fondly on it. But yeah, now we're gonna talk about last year, which is 2022. Last year was a really different year compared to the year I had previously, which I said was 2021. 2022 was something I don't know how to describe it. I was going through a lot, per se, financially and educationally in a way. I had switched. So I went to two different major changes. I went from, computer engineer. I realized I probably am not good for this, and then I went to kinesiology for some weird odd reason. And then midway through the fall of 2022 semester, I stuck with the major I'm currently taking, which is theater and a concentration in design tech. But I remember how tough that year was in a way. But like I said, music is very important to me in the way how it calms me down in a way. And 2022 was another great year for music. And that's because a bunch of artists who haven't, really released music within the past like 2 to 5 years dropped music. And they're like my genuinely favorite artists of all time. And one of the songs being "Love You Back" by Madion. And I know like Madion is very popular in his dance field, but Madion is this song in particular I feel like doesn't really get enough praise. It's summery. It is a beautiful song to listen to. I love screaming the lyrics to it. It's a very gorgeous song, and I believe it deserves a lot more recognition because it is a pop vibe. I think if we heard this on the radio, like, here in the RGV, radio Wild 104.1, I think this song would do amazing. It's a really good song. And the next song is comes from Kendrick Lamar, an artist that we hadn't heard from in 5 years up to that point. He dropped his new album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. And I remember when he announced that album, I had just gone through LASIK surgery, which is funny because then after I read that announcement, I was basically blind for like 3 days until I could see again. But I remember when he announced that, I was just freaking out. I was like, oh my God, new Kendrick music after 5 years. I'm not going to be playing, the popular songs from that album. I wanted to play a song that really touched me in particular. That song is called "Mirror." It is a very emotional song. The entire like album concept of Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers is very, it talks about like the ideologies of grief and like how he's actually like breaking a boundary between him and like how much power he has in the music world and how he can't use it to its fullest potential. It's a very emotional album, but this song in particular like really touches my heart. It's really beautiful and gorgeous. But yeah, we're gonna start off with "Love You Back" by Madion, and we're gonna head straight into Kendrick Lamar by Mirror by Kendrick Lamar. So yeah. All right, that was "Love You Back" by Madeon and "Mirror" by Kendrick Lamar. All right, now moving on to the year that we're currently living in, which is 2023. Um, is probably better, maybe just as good as 2021, the year I lived in. Um, so much has happened this year, if I'm being honest with you. Um, where did I even begin? So much has happened, well, let me just start off by saying we are in the final stretch of this show right now. You know, these are the last couple of songs that we're playing. The last song is going to be a surprise. It is tailored to the day we're currently in right now, which is the 21st of September. If you know the song, you know the song. But yeah, that's also a really good song. I'll just say that. Um, but I'll say I've been hearing a bunch of new artists that I've never really cared to listen to before. Like one being George Clanton. My bad, I've been listening to him. I'm looking at my notes here. I meant like Janet Jackson, who I fell in love with her music like earlier in the year. Carly Rae Jepsen, who is an underrated gem. I am tired of the one hit wonder allegations of her. She is amazing. She recently just dropped a new album. It is really good. Recommend you guys listen to it. Um, and then there's this new artist that came up around last year. His name is Fred again, who's dropping some amazing tracks throughout this year as well. Um, yeah, a bunch of new music I've been listening to. I think this has been one of my most like diverse years in terms of music. And why I could talk about the new Madeon song "Gonna Be Good" and the live edit. I did play that last time, and I did play George Clanton today as well, and I also played him last time. But yeah, Travis Scott also dropped as well. He dropped an amazing song produced by Guy Manuel from Daft Punk. It's called Modern Jam. That's also a really good song. Um, but if there's one song in particular that I remember coming out, it came out 3 days after my birthday, I believe. It is Still Here with the Ones That I Came With by Skrillex. It came off his new album, which he hadn't dropped an album in around 9 years. He was, of course, doing a Jackie with Diplo, and we got those, iconic Justin Bieber songs and all that stuff. And he's just been producing for other artists as well. But this one in particular is very important to me because it really brought a lot of joy to my middle school, high school self, where I always dreamed of a collaboration between Skrillex and Porter Robinson. These guys have been together for like best friends since like, Skrillex started his label back in like 2011, I believe. Um, and when I first heard this song, it was kind of a grower. If I'm being honest with you, it's not what I would expect from how high these guys are regarded in that world of electronic music. But I still personally enjoy it. And when I first heard it, I was just like, wow, this is like my magnum opus right here. This is like, I've been waiting for a collaboration like this from Porter and Skrillex for a while. And I'm very happy for that. And I couldn't be more grateful to know that these guys are still, friends to this day and all that stuff. Um, yeah, and earlier in the year as well, what's it called? I wanted to talk about September. But despite hearing Still Here with the Ones That I Came With on release day and all that stuff and how it changed me, I also saw a Madeon DJ set earlier in the year in April, and he played Still Here with the Ones That I Came With, funny enough. And I remember like freaking like, oh my god, he's playing it. But there's one song in particular that he always plays at the end of his DJ sets. He goes around saying like, no encore, this is the last final song, and it is the best song ever. And I'm like, oh, what could be the best song ever? Unsurprisingly, it is September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. And look at what day it is. It is Thursday, September 21st. Yeah, so I remember when he ended his show off, he was like, no encore, best song ever, let's hear it. September. And I remember just dancing on and all that stuff. So yeah, today's going to be a good day. It is the 21st of September. So yeah, we're first going to start off with Still Here with the Ones That I Came With and September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. All right, that was Still Here with the Ones That I Came With and the best song of all time, September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. But yeah, I'm wrapping it up already. I hope you guys have a really good, amazing day. It's probably one of the best days you probably ever had. I wish that upon every single one of you, all right? Even if we don't see eye to eye with each other, I love every single one of you guys. All right. I've been U4ric. Catch you guys here next Thursday at 1 p.m. for another edition of U4ric's Paradise. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening. Catch you guys next time.